Good morning, guys. It's me again. We're going to take a look at my dragon fruit plants. I do not have any flower buds yet, but I do have lots of pretty new growth. This first plant is a physical graffiti cutting that I started last year. I want to tell you that if you're going to start a dragon fruit plant, the best thing is to take it from a cutting. And when you get a cutting, a lot of times when you order them online, they send you a cutting that might be 6 inches, 12 inches at best long. Well, if you want a healthy plant that's going to fruit sooner, it is better that you get a long cutting. Even if you could get one that's about 3 feet, 4 feet long, and a mature cutting, not something that's grown this year, but something that has been on that plant, say, for maybe a couple of years, you're going to get a dragon fruit plant that produces fruit sooner. My cutting starts right here and goes up there. So that cutting is about 24 inches long. So my hope is that this cutting will produce fruit for me sooner. This year, no. But next year, maybe. The next dragon fruit plant is my Vietnamese white. I have had this plant for at least 2 years. It might even be 3. Kind of lost count. It was slow to grow. The first year that I had it, it didn't grow much at all. However, this year, the growth has picked up. I did a few things. My friend suggested that I put it in a bigger pot, so you can see that I have a bigger pot. My friend also told me to use 17-17-17 fertilizer. That's what I've been doing. And this plant now has lots of new growth. You can see like new growth here and there, and even some poking through right here and there, and all this stuff back here. So she's definitely picking up her game. The next plant we have is a combination of Selenicereus megalanthus, and it's also supposed to be a Guatemalan. I don't know that it's Guatemalan, but it's growing very nicely, and so is the Selenicereus megalanthus. The Selenicereus megalanthus is really not a very rapid grower, but she's doing great this year. Let's look at some of the new growths, like this is Selenicereus megalanthus new growth, and even this one right here. And I find that the Selenicereus megalanthus, the stems are much thinner than, say, look at this stem right here. That's supposed to be the Guatemalan, and this is Selenicereus megalanthus. So it has thinner stems. I'm really impressed at the size, the width of some of these growths. Here's another one as well. I'm really impressed at the width. And right now, as it's growing, it's really thin. And once it starts growing, this stem will thicken up. Like if you look back here, this stem is pretty corpulent. It's meaty. Like I can press on it and I can feel the meat in here. I press on this right there and it feels more like a sheet of paper right now. That's because it's not done growing. Next, I have my red dragon fruit plant. I honestly believe that the seed that this was grown from, and this is just grown from one seed, was some type of orejona. The reason why I think it's orejona, I was looking online and it said orejona has a bluish green tint, and I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but this definitely has more of a bluish green tint. And also that orejona tends to have some frosting on it, and if you look at these stems, you see how frosted they are. So this should give me red dragon fruit, hopefully maybe something similar to an orejona. And I'll be honest, the dragon fruit that I ate was not all that great, honestly. But, you know, variety is the spice of life. So you see all these new growths, and this was the one that I took outside and stuck in the sun, and it was all burnt. You see all these like white markings and stuff, and I cut a lot of it off. Well, you see the response by this plant. This plant is flat putting out some new growth. And another thing that I noticed about this thing is very, very spiky. And my next plant is what I used to call my mystery plant. It produces a white flesh dragon fruit with a very thick peel. This one is growing quite nicely. You see all this stuff up top. Notice the new growth has a lighter green hue than, say, the old growth. And just look at how big some of this stuff is. Like this right here. and even this here. And I'm going to be honest with you, I had to thin some of the new growth because here's the thing. I've got to keep in mind, I've got to take these things indoors in the winter. And I mean, how big is a door? Maybe 3 feet wide. And I can't let it overgrow, just to be honest, because if I do, I cannot get it inside. Something else I want to tell you is that you want to make sure that when you have a dragon fruit plant, it should be putting out strong, healthy roots. I want you to look at some of the roots here. So when I first started with my dragon fruit plant, like if it started putting out roots up here, I thought it was unsightly and I would cut it off. That is the wrong thing to do. You see all these roots, even if they start up here, they will eventually find their way to the bottom. And that's how your plant is going to soak up nutrients and water, and that's going to help your plant to be a stronger fruiter. So you want to encourage all these roots that this plant is putting down. My next plant is my physical graffiti, and again, you see up top, poking up to the sky, long, strong new growth. If you look, the new growth on the physical graffiti is longer than the new growth on any of the other plants. So it's quite a good grower, and my friend Vin definitely had it correct when he said I needed to fertilize more. I put fertilizer on these things and my dragon fruit are hopping. I have never seen this physical graffiti grow this vigorously. The last thing I want to tell you about is this plant right here, my Selenicereus megalanthus plant. And I told you it had an issue. Basically, the stem had rotted where it was connected to the soil. And this Selenicereus megalanthus plant just does not put out a lot of side roots. And so it had absolutely no roots in the soil because the stem had rotted. And so what I ended up doing, I ended up taking this off the wooden post, and I ended up sticking just part of the stem in the ground, like right here, hoping that it would form roots. And I can't tell you that it's formed roots for sure because, well, I'm not going to remove the soil. But I can tell you what has happened. This has definitely greened up. And so I look from right here. I've noticed this for the past maybe week or two, that it's getting greener and that green is proliferating up. Like this is starting to turn green. But if I go up top, you see that this is still yellow. So this plant is in the process of recuperating. So hopefully I can get these two plants back healthy again, and then this will be another means for me to have Selenicereus megalanthus plants. So guys, that's pretty much it. Lots of new growth, and I'll let you know when I see flower buds. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.